Arley-Beth and this is my impression management stage for speech Thursday and 18th. I thought we should start with some definitions first so there's no confusion. So the first definition is impression. It's a strong feeling, idea, or opinion that comes from experience with something. I added this picture of feet in the sand. In the same way, these footprints left an impression in the sand. Your first impression stays with it for longer than you might think. So it's important that we manage this. My second definition is management, the process of dealing with or controlling things or people. In layman's terms, it is controlling something the way you want it to be, similar to how a video game controller controls your video game with a few limitations. Impression management. Mastering impression management will benefit you in many ways. You can learn how to present yourself the way you want others to see you. However, there are 7 different strategies that lead to 7 different goals. I added a short video to help us understand what impression management means. So
I've got my essay written, and I've been working on it for about a week. So now I'm going to show you how I use Grammarly to edit. Okay, so here's my essay.
We've been using language to influence other people for a very long time. Presentation skill trainers like Aristotle showed us ways we could use language to control what other people thought of us. Basically things like ethos and pathos and logos, lots and lots of rhetoric. Later, role-play enthusiasts like William Shakespeare coined memorable phrases like all the world's a stage and men and women merely players. The idea was simple. We all take on roles when we interact with other people. There were other phrases too, but some have become corrupted over the years. More recently, sociologists like Erving Goffman, whose well-known book, The Presentation of Self in Everyday Life, really sets the standard of how we think about impression management today, looked at the problem. Now, like Shakespeare, Goffman used the metaphor of drama. And one of his points was that the way the actors perform in front of their audience helps to define the situation, in effect, establishing what we mean by reality. Hello, my name is Evan Frendo, and I'm a business English teacher, trainer, and author based in Germany. I'd like to tell you a little about a talk I'll be doing at the BC conference in Prague this November. As you've probably worked out by now, it's about impression management. It's a topic which is really gaining in importance. Just type impression management into a search engine and you'll find lots of hits telling you about training seminars and the latest research. Not a lot about impression management in a business English teaching context though, which is surprising considering how relevant it is. My talk will be in 2 parts. In the first part, we'll look at what we mean by impression management. We'll look at how business people use language in all sorts of situations to control and influence what other people think about them, to show that they can be trusted, that they know what they're doing, that they can be relied upon. Impression management is all about projecting an image, creating an identity. Of course, culture plays a role too. Different cultures, national, corporate, professional, all have their accepted ways of doing things. Ingratiation is one example, and this involves flattering people or complimenting them, making other people feel good. Another one you'll come across is self-promotion, talking about your accomplishments or qualifications or your background so that other people see you as competent. And then in the second part of the talk, we'll move on to look at some activities for the classroom. And there are lots of things we can do to teach our students about impression management. I'd like to show you some of the stuff I do in my own classes and stuff you can do next week in your own class. So that's it. I'm looking forward to meeting you in Prague. Remember, impression management, 9:30 on Sunday morning. See you there.
So this was my short video about impression management. Let's go ahead and get back to the PowerPoint. So as I was saying, there are 7 different strategies to lead to 7 different goals. So let's explore the first goal. As I was saying, the affinity speaking or to be liked. There are a few reasons I would want to be well liked by others. One example is when moving to a new school or when starting a new job. When meeting new people, you want people to like you. Some strategies of this would be to help the person, present yourself as relaxed and easygoing, and mind your manners, and follow the cultural normalities for conversation. So talk about normal things, talk about current events, things like that. There are a couple politeness strategies that we could use. Positive Finally, the negative faces, which are symbolized by these theater faces that I put in here, are controlled by our environment and the people around us. So a negative incident can impact our positive faces, but it's kind of hard to get past a negative face. Being polite can alter our positive face. To be believed. There are a couple reasons to have this role, but a few I can think of are when running for office, when selling something, or being questioned. Some strategies to this are to mention how fair and honest you are and establish that credibility. Establish your personality as charismatic. People will believe someone who they genuinely like, and express concern for the less fortunate. Make yourself seem like a really good person. To excuse failure. Someone might use these strategies when they think they might fail the task at hand before they actually complete the task. Some strategies to this would be make tasks seemingly impossible so that it's not your fault you failed. An example of this would be saying I can't run 100 meters and then putting extra hurdles in the 100 meters to where you physically cannot run that 100 meters. And another thing is to blame something else. Make it seem like it's not your fault. This is my least favorite type of impression management because it makes you seem weak and like you can't do something before you even try. Another one is to secure help. You might use these strategies to just genuinely get people to help you. Some of these strategies would be confessions of incompetence or expressing that you're ignorant. One example would be, say you're trying to carve a pumpkin and you need help. Say, I don't know how to carve a pumpkin. I have never tried this before. So you would confess that you're incompetent, saying it didn't work the first time you tried it, and express that you're ignorant, saying that you don't know how to do it. And somebody will most likely help you if you say those two things. Another one is to hide faults. Similar to wanting to be liked, this focuses on hiding your perceived imperfections. So while the want to be liked would be to highlight your things you like about yourself and things you want them to notice, to hide faults would be to hide things that you don't want them to see. So it's kind of two sides of the same coin. Strategies are to use a different language than your current vernacular. So instead of saying words that are more slang, talk more professional. This goes along with avoid looking unprofessional. You want to dress nice and not chew gum or anything. And actively hide unfavorable information. So this is just straight up not telling them certain things about yourself because you don't like those things about yourself and you don't want them to know those things straight off the bat. The next one is to be followed. One use these strategies to be a leader or a politician. These strategies are Aristotle's pathos, logos, and ethos. Provide credibility, appeal to emotions, and have a logical arguments. These have been proven over hundreds of years to work, so this is what I would do if I was trying to run for office. And for the last one would be to confirm self-image. Sometimes people communicate to straighten or confirm our self-image. So it's not so much communicating for the other person, it's communicating for themselves. Strategies, they actively confirm their image. So they actively say things that they like about themselves or they want the other person to react. They actively hide things that don't fit your image. This also goes with hiding your faults and things like that. And there are a couple other things, there are no more things in this PowerPoint, but I wanted to talk about something else. So there's a lot of these things also have negative sides. So if we go back to this slide, the one about to hide faults, this one can make you seem like a liar if it's not used in, this one can make you seem like a liar if it's not used in moderation. So withholding information is sometimes okay, but when it gets to the point where you are not saying anything truthful about yourself and you're not telling the truth, that's when you become to be seen as a problem. And this one can make you seem like you don't want to try anything or that you're incompetent at trying things. So this is also my least favorite and there are negatives. All of these 7 things should be done in moderation because there's negatives to each and every one. So I would like to say thank you for watching my speech and have a great day.